Hey guys, my name is Hunter Carithers. I'm the worship leader at Hope Point Church, and I was asked to give you a testimony about my life. Mrs. Bird, I know her as Kelly Bird, asked me to give a testimony to you guys. I've known her for a long time. She's seen me grow up, and she still asked me to do this, which is strange. But and also, I'm not actually driving. You can tell I am in my car because I have a 5-year-old, and I would be distracted at home doing this. But I'm not driving, and I'm not operating a vehicle while I'm doing this. Just so you know, safety message. Okay, so I'm sorry that I'm gonna ramble a little bit, and this is unedited, uncut, as they say. So yeah, I grew up in Spartanburg, born and raised here, and except for about 3 years, I've lived here my whole life. I went to church as a kid growing up. Every Sunday, every Wednesday, I was in church. My parents were faithful to take us to church, take our family to church. So I'm grateful for that, even though at the time I was annoyed by it because, as a kid who wants to go to church all the time, nobody does. And if you said that you do, well, I don't believe you as a child, as a kid. Anyway, so yeah, we were there all the time, and it never really stuck in my heart, in my head. I would say I was not a believer up until I was about 15 or 16. I was just at church because I had to be there, and my friends were there, and that is where I had most of my friends were at church, and so fast forward till when I was about 15. Well, first of all, a little side story. Miss Kelly Bird taught my Sunday school class. If y'all even know what that is. I think I was 5th grade, maybe. Kelly, I could be wrong on that, but yeah, Kelly and her husband Chris, and I've known them since, and just love them. They've been awesome. So totally side note. So yeah, fast forward, I'm 15, and my dad gets diagnosed with melanoma, and so I see him over the next year and a half or so, slowly decline into, and just kind of give way to the cancer. So he passed away when I was 16. Obviously, that was had a profound impact on me as a teenage guy, and seeing my family suffer in that way. So. But it was also a time where I felt the Lord probably closer than I ever have. I felt I just knew He was there, and I felt His presence. I felt peace and just His comfort in the weirdest way. It was the hardest time, but it was also some of the best times in relation to the Lord, and just knowing that He's there. But yeah, so. And from 16 on till about 20, I was a decent teenage Christian dude. Not perfect, of course, and struggled, but I was trying. I was trying to seek the Lord. And I started to deal with some depression. I know now seems really obvious, but that it was just over my father's death, and not probably dealing with it in the way I should have, not grieving in the way I should have. I started dealing with that, and so when I was about 20, I started to use different things to cope with that, alcohol and smoking marijuana, and just doing any kind of thing that really I could get my hands on, and that led me down a path of abuse and addiction, and I would be on that path for the next 15 years or so, including when I'm skipping a lot of time, but so fast forward when I'm about 29, and I meet my wife, and we get married, and I'm still in that cycle of coming back to the Lord, for doing good for 2 or 3 months, and then coming, and then slowly falling back into the lifestyle of substance abuse and everything that comes with that. And so the first 5 years of our marriage were pretty rough, and well, I'm sorry, I just went blank, and I'm watching people drive past me. Anyway, so yeah, the first 5 years actually weren't that bad. It was the next 10 after that were horrible, or 5 after that were bad. I'm really bad with time. I'm sorry, but so yeah, I basically, long story short, I was in and out of doing good, and I was lying to my wife. Her name's Melanie, and I was keeping things from her, doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and just being deceptive, and so we separated a few times, and so then the last time, it was 2011. We had been married for a while at that point, and so I ended up leaving the house again and staying with my mom, and so Melanie told me, she said you basically got to get help. You got to do something, or we're not going to make it. And so I was on the verge of, at that point in my life, I was on the verge of losing my marriage, of losing my job, of just losing, things that were just crumbling down around me in my life. And so I reluctantly agreed to go to a place in Boone to get help. It's a rehab place, for lack of better words. It's a Christian retreat center. I don't really know what you call it, but rehab's not exactly the right word. But basically, it's a place, and they just focus on your heart and your relationship with the Lord, and so I went there, and I was there for 2.5 months, and that's when the Lord really started, really changed my life at that place. And so, and it started the first night I was there. I could feel Him just opening my eyes. He was just showing me who I'd been, who I'd become, the man and the husband, the son I was, and everything like that. Just showing me that, and then just slowly started to just change me, even in those moments. And so I graduated after 2.5 months, and came home, and I was working a job, I was working just at Costco, actually. And so I started to feel, when I got back home and I was sober and I was seeking the Lord, and I was trying to be in the Word and just learning about Him. I was in Bible study with some guys, and I just still, I started feeling like this discontentment in where I was, and not just with a job, but just I felt like I was supposed to be doing something, and I wasn't doing it. And so I started praying and asking the Lord what He wanted me to do, and I knew it had something to do with music. So I asked Him what He wanted me to do, and I just kept praying about it and asking Him, and then so eventually the position at Hope Point came open, and I had a few people from different groups that asked me about it, asked me if I'd be interested in doing it. And so, long story, again, that is still long, but I'll say it short. I ended up applying for that position, and didn't think I was going to get it at all. I didn't think, I thought there's no way they'll hire me. I had only been out of the place I went to for about a year at that point. And so I thought, man, they're not going to hire me. But I was going to take the step just as a step of faith. So I said, here we go, Lord, I'll step out and do it. And so I did, and went through the audition process, was all the things, and it'll be 8 years this year that I've been at Hope Point as their worship leader, only by God's grace. And you know, we say that kind of stuff all the time, but I know it really is true, because I don't deserve to be, you know, doing that job or doing any kind of job where it's like you're trying to lead people closer to the Lord, or so and most days, honestly, I don't feel equipped to do the job, or to do any kind of ministry job. But the Lord, it's amazing how He gives you strength and energy and all that stuff to do what He's called you to do. So and so yeah, I've been there about 7 years now, and one huge thing that the Lord has done for my wife and I is we ended up adopting our son. He's 5 years old now, and we adopted him after a long time of trying to have a baby, and then having a couple of other adoptions that fell through pretty quickly. And then we adopted our son. We were there the night he was born, and we took him home the next day or 2 days later, and he's been just a joy to our lives, but also just like a memorial of what God can do, because we, from the day we heard about him, it was 22 days later that we brought him home. So it's pretty crazy, and that never happens if you know much about adoption. But but really what I would say to you guys, if that's was a really rambly story, and I'm sorry, I hope you can follow it. I'm really distractible, and I'm looking at cars and people that are walking by. But if I could say just one thing to you, if Miss Kelly Bird, or Miss Bird as y'all may know her as, would say, hey, sum up it in one, maybe not one sentence, but what do you want to say to the people you know? And I would say, first of all, don't waste your time. Don't waste your years. Don't waste your time at Oak Brook. Don't waste your time at your church if you're going to church. Don't waste these years, because these are years you're not going to get back. And start now seeking the Lord, and start now like just reading and studying His Word. Be a student of His Word, and just be in prayer. And I'm telling you, whatever you're dealing with, whatever it is that you're struggling with, and everybody struggles with something and is struggling with something. So don't think you're by yourself if you are, first of all. Secondly, you can just take it to the Lord, and He'll eventually restore and replace that thing with just joy. He's not against you, He's for you. And it took me a long time to see that, because I wanted to do my own thing like most people do. We all want to do our own thing. And so that's what I would say to you, that don't waste this time now and think I'm going to get right with the Lord later, but right now I'm going to have fun, because it doesn't work like that. And who's to say that you'll even make it through your fun years, quote unquote fun years, because they're not really that fun. You're not missing anything to not pursue that lifestyle, but you are going to miss something if you don't pursue the Lord right now, and you will look back on your life and think, man, I wasted so much time. Although God can restore that time, He can do so much more with you right now where you are, with a heart that's yielded to Him. So thank you guys for listening to that rambly story, and I hope y'all just give Miss Kelly Bird a hug for me, because she's awesome. And yeah, so my name's Hunter again, and I am done. All right, thank you guys. All right, bye.